All right, all right. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Be Iconic Conversations. See that we are live on Instagram as well as on Facebook. Put in the chat right now. Let us know where you're tuning in from. I want to know. We're looking in the chat right now. We see you, Bren, Mitch. What's going on? I see Instagram's popping up. Who are you on Facebook? Put us in the chat. Want to say hello to you. Just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let us know where you're tuning in from so we can shout you out. We're going to get this thing locked and loaded. We've got us Harlem, New York in the building. We've got an iconic event. If you're on here and you're just catching me, you hit the live button by accident. Don't leave. Don't leave. I promise you it's going to be worth it. Y'all, we've got about 19 days to the new year, and we're live here on Be Iconic Conversations. Tampa, Florida in the building. Eslin, we see you. Instagram, can you hear me okay? Colorado in the building as well. Let me make sure. Yep. Instagram is doing its thing, and so is Facebook. Welcome, welcome to Neil, Ohio, OHIO. Welcome. All right, we're going to get this locked and loaded. Welcome to Be Iconic Conversations, where we help people earn income, being themselves for a living while impacting people through your story, through your testimony, through your witness, the people you were called and put on this planet to impact. Georgia in the building. My name is Darren Walker. I'm your brother, son of God, husband, father, your host for tonight. I've got two special guests that I'm going to be bringing up here. We want to get these numbers a little bit, not that we're going to wait for anybody, but I'm just telling you, the guests that we have on here tonight are iconic. They're two personal friends of mine. They're also two people that I've partnered with over the last year or so in a mastermind that I've been running for about 2 years that I've kind of kept on the DL, but we're letting people know about it. It's been impacting people. In fact, we had one of our icons ideally do her first masterclass. She was on last week. We had Sonia Dungy. We had Tennille on as well. And we're going to continue through the end of the year, bring you high-level value. So I want to get this started and let y'all know how much we appreciate you tonight and how excited we are tonight. If people are out there right now and they've got some big goals and they've got some big dreams, I'm just letting you know that this is the place to be. Also, just letting you know this, I'm not saying it's going to be a tearjerker, but it could be. It could be a tearjerker night. Some of the testimonies that we have coming up tonight are some real ones. And what, I'm driven by is myself alike is to be able to have real, what we call Be Iconic conversations, the real, what's actually going on in a person's life. And the blessings, all the things that are going on in their life on a high level, but also the testing. Some people have gone through loss, hardship. Maybe you right now in this holiday season have going through some type of testing in your life, or you've had in the past. And what I was always inspired by, and I still am right now, is finding out how people, even though they've had some hardship in their life, or they're going through hardship in their life, what separates those that win on an iconic level, a high level, and allows them to be inspired to continue to achieve goals at a high level despite their circumstance? It's almost like it makes them a little bit better. Not that they're better than anybody else, but they find a way to find their purpose. This is not just attached to income, although I do love teaching people how to earn 6 and 7 figures. And I'm going to be sharing an event with you today that we're going to be doing to start your new year. If you're looking to start 2024 in iconic fashion, I'm going to share a special event that I'm doing January 15th and 16th, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But if you're on here right now and you have a story, you have a passion, you have a business, you have an idea that you personally want to learn how you can turn your story into income, how you can impact people with your create, connect, and contribute and walk in your calling at a high level, I'm telling you, this is the podcast for you. We do this every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, I'm live on Facebook. Right now, I'm live on Instagram. Right now, I'm live on 2 Facebook pages, and Meet the Walker is my YouTube page. But let's get into this. And I'm going to give a special gift to anyone. If you're on Instagram and you share this to my my stories and you tag yourself and tag me, and DM me icon, I'm going to share your special gift. If you're on Facebook and you share this, make sure you DM me shared or icon. I'm going to make sure I reach out to you and give you a special gift. So let's go, y'all. If you're ready, I want to make sure I'm with the right people. Say you're ready in the chat so I know that we're here. I'm watching, I'm looking for the first ready. Let me know somebody that you're ready. Let's go. Let me see some readies. Let me see already. I know there's like a second delay for you. All right, I got one. I see it. Let's go. Let's have some fun. I got a couple slides I want to share with you about this event. And you know what's so funny about that? I love it. I'm sharing the wrong slides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the right ones. And that's what I love about what I'm doing here, because, you know, that's okay. You know, I was actually talking to someone and excuse me, earlier, and I was just letting them know there's no reason to freak out. I don't freak out. I like making mistakes live because I want people to see, yo, anybody can do it. So let me go back and get these slides. Oh, there it is. Tonight we will have some icons. Janelle Villiers will come up in a little bit. She'll be coming up first. She's one of our guests. She's an author, a daughter, serial entrepreneur, podcaster, masterclasser, courser, just an absolute beast. And then we're going to have Chance Potts come on. He's a believer. Janelle's a believer as well. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a coach, serial entrepreneur, business owner, doing some super iconic things. And you guys are going to learn a lot from him. But first, again, I want to, as we begin here, make sure minds and hearts are truly ready. I know that there's a lot of different podcasts out there, and there's a lot of different things people can learn from out there. And by the way, as we go into this, just do me a favor. If you're getting value tonight from myself, from Janelle, from Chance, feeling inspired at all, just put value in the chat. Whenever something is valuable to you, let us know. Just put value. If you can relate to anything that we're talking about as we're on here tonight, do us a favor and just put relate. If you're inspired tonight by something that we say or a provoking thought that we bring up, go ahead and do us a favor and put inspired, because we want to know. And again, I was saying, I know there's so many different podcasts and people going live out there. We appreciate your time. We want to let you know we appreciate your time. That's why we're getting right to it. But also, we want to let you know that we're going to keep it real. We're going to keep it 100 with you, and we're here to impact, right? So if you said ready already, we're ready to go. So I want to let you know, like I said, I'm just letting you know right now, I got my icon assistant on here, Davia. She's on Instagram and Facebook. We are doing an event coming up January 15th and 16th. It's called Turn Your Iconic Unique Story into 6- and 7-Figure Business. It's going to be a 2-day event from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can't just register. There's a process to get you in the door. This is going to be high level. And one of the reasons why we see people fail in the new year is because they're just not prepared. They're not locked in. They're not around successful-minded people. So we'll be dropping the links in the chat for this throughout the event. But I just want to put in your mind, only if you're serious. You don't need to register right now, but tonight, if you get value and you really feel like you're ready to take things to the next level, we will put that link in the chat for you. Okay, and we will help you win on the next level. I got my beautiful family up here right now. Actually, I'm going to change the view to make my family bigger for you. And the reason why is I got my beautiful family up here right now. Let me see if I can show you this. Yeah. Because, you know, as I was praying on just Be Iconic Conversations in general, for me, y'all, I just want to let you know, this is one of the main reasons outside of my relationship with the Lord, which is paramount while I'm doing this. You know, it's funny because in this picture, my wife is pregnant, but not with the baby that she's pregnant with right now. Zeal, our third baby, our 1.5 years strong, he's in her belly there. That's Kingston holding her. That's Faith on my shoulders. And that's our family. But as I post this picture, and I post other ones, I just want to let y'all know I appreciate you and let you know where we're coming from. I'm looking to be a great steward of what the Lord has given me, and I'm sharing with you where my inspiration is coming from in my family. What's your inspiration? What drives you? We have a mastermind that we've been helping people win at a high level. We'll talk to you about that in a little bit. But here I want to bring up one of the reasons why I believe people get stuck, even if they have an inspiration and a drive. Before we get into Janelle's story tonight, I want to kind of bring this up quickly. And here's what it is. If you're looking for a reason why you're stuck, you're possibly stuck, if you feel that you're stuck, it's right here. Maybe you've seen this before. It's time to see it again. And it's take a screenshot if this is valuable. Let us know. Addiction to distractions is the death of your creative productivity. With the next 19, let's call it 20 days up until the new year, we're so excited for the holiday season, especially if you celebrate Christmas coming up. And I just kind of want to bring this up because some people are going to allow 2 days, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, rob them of 20. And they're going to allow addictions to distractions to rob them. Could be finances, could be stress, could be social media. I'm not sure what it is. But we want to talk about in this Be Iconic conversation today how we can stop people from going through that pain. Here's one of the main reasons why. When I learned this, it changed my life. Did you know that 692,040 hours is the average length in a human being's life? The average human being spends roughly 79 years or 28,835 days on Earth. So there is an average of 692,040 hours in a lifetime. My dad went to be with the Lord September 5th of last year, passed away at 77. Super proud of him. He almost made the average lifetime, but more importantly, he lived such a fruitful, God-fearing, God-living, leading life. And so I bring this up because there's 20 days to the end of the year, but how much time do you and I have? And what are we doing with it? I want to ask you that question. And as we ask you that question, I'm going to ask you 2 more questions before we bring Janelle on. The first question is this. It's simple. What is the thing that you do at your absolute best with the least amount of effort? A lot of people are stuck trying to be perfectionists. You're already good at something that someone would probably pay you for and pay you to do if you learn how to turn it into something valuable enough that someone knew about it, they wanted it, and they want to take it to the next level with you. Here's how it simply looks like. Who are you? What do you do? And what do you produce? Write that down. Who are you? What do you do? And what do you produce? You know those 3 things, you value it, you scale it, you can change people's lives, okay? So what is the thing you do at your absolute best with the least amount of effort? Next thing, what is the gift you were given that you're not living out right now? We all have it. We all have it. Darren, I'm supposed to be in the NBA. I get it. Well, if you're 4'11", no, you're not. Shout out to my short people. My sister's 4'11". I call her the 4-foot bully, okay? Listen, I'm telling you right now, we all have a gift. I want to help you unpack it. One of my giftings is to help people strategize to truly go unpack those gifts. And as we move forward in the goals and dreams that people have in their heart, I want you to know that you have a gift. And if you're not living it out, that what it does, it suppresses, it rips away the thing that people really want to do at their highest level, and they get trapped inside and not knowing how to figure out how to do it. So tonight on Be Iconic Conversations, what we're looking to do as we bring up our first guest is to help people get freed from whatever is trapping them and holding them back to that next iconic level. So as we do that, I'm going to bring up this young icon. I'm so excited that she's on. Her story is impactful. Her story is powerful. She's going to be sharing some things with you that she's doing in her personal life. And I want to just get right into it because we've got another guest to come on. We want to get to it. So if you've getting value, put value. If you relate, put relate. Ladies and gentlemen, Be Iconic Conversations. Please blow it up. I want to see hearts, likes, and all the love as we welcome Janelle Villiers at Janelle_Villiers to Be Iconic Conversations. Hey, Icon, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me. This is really, really, really an honor.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're on here. You had me on your podcast say that, you and one of your partners, Winston, and I'm grateful that you guys had me on last year, I think, and grateful to bring it back. So, hey, Janelle, we're going to hop right into this really quickly. Tell us who you are, and then we're going to get into some thought-provoking questions and see if we can help unlock some icons on this call tonight. Who's Janelle Villiers?
Let's see. That's such a great question. Without the titles, I am a committed optimist who is on a journey of trying to figure out how to live out my purpose to the fullest extent.
What do you do for work right now? How are you making income?
The titles. So I'm a professor is the shortest way to say it at Sarah Lawrence College. The more detailed way is I am an assistant program director for a human genetics program where I train people to become genetic counselors.
Love it. And I'm going to kind of put you on the spot. I didn't tell you this. Do you know your transformation statement?
Yeah.
Go for it.
So, okay. I help people go from secretly believing they're unworthy and self-sabotaging their business or relationships to confidently and unapologetically embrace the success that comes from unleashing their authentic selves.
Let's get it. If you don't know what a transformation statement is, it's like your calling card. It's your elevator pitch, your hook. And in our mastermind, Iconic Attraction Mastermind, that's one of the things that we teach people in one of our milestones called Blueprint to help them know who they are, what they do, and what they produce. And you just did an excellent job. Thank you. Also, really quick, you got that hair done, girl. You got the hair braid. You just came back from somewhere. Why you looking so bright?
My parents just celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary, which is amazing, right? Not a lot of people can say that. And they decided to celebrate on a cruise. So they invited their family and friends to celebrate with them on a cruise. We were on Celebrity Cruise. I think it's called the Eastern Caribbean. So we saw it was a 10-day cruise stopping at a bunch of islands I've never been to, including Grenada, St. Thomas, St. Martin, Tobago, and St. Lucia.
I know we got some people in the chat right now. Shout out to my Caribbean people. These people going to your islands, eating up all your fruit hunting. All right, so Janelle, great to have you back. Hey, listen, so here on BEICONIC Conversations, we want to have a conversation with people out there that have a story, teaching them to turn it into 6 and 7 figures. And you have a story, you have a testimony, you have a book that you wrote about, a part of your story. But I want you to kind of give us a quick synopsis background of who Janelle Villiers actually is, your story. If you were to think of yourself, something that defines you in your story, especially some hardship that you've been through in your life, what would you say and where would you start?
I think the best way to answer this is actually through an exercise that you had us do. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna steal from that because I think it's the best way to do this in the shortest amount of time.
From the mastermind, I'm all cool with it.
It is. It's from the mastermind. So for me, one of the purposes I love to talk about is shame-based thinking. And so it's important to distinguish the difference between guilt and shame. Where guilt is, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Shame is, I'm sorry, I am a mistake. And that's what I wanted to tell everyone who ever found out that I slept with a married man. It's actually the title of the book that I wrote. I slept with a married man. Am I still a good person?
Hold it up a little bit more because you're there you go. Boom. Raise that up a little bit more. There it is. There it is. Boom. So keep going because right now, like when I first started working with you and you told me the title of your book, do you remember what I told you?
You were like, woo, that's powerful and very brave.
Yes. I was like, I love that. You know, there's a bunch of different aspects that I want to talk to about that. I'm as a Christian, as a believer, straight up, I'm going to keep it 100. There's some faith-based people in here that like, oh, he has her on the podcast. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. There's some women in here that are just like, she did what? There's some guys in here that she did what? Back off, fellas. Not over here. You know, there's all different types of things. But what's so powerful to me is that it's your story. So unpack it. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So this is just it. So I was thinking I am a mistake. I'm defective. Something's wrong with me. And that is shame-based thinking. When you have a belief about yourself. And what I realized and what the book is about is that I had received a lot of messages from when I was a child that created these beliefs in me that lead to making really poor decisions, including self-sabotage, flirting with risky behavior, and self-isolation and punishment. And so sleeping with a married man is like one result of a lot of shame-based thinking that led to that. And so that's the journey that I take people on because I really want to help people with that. I know I'm not the only person on the planet who's thinking I'm unlovable, I'm unworthy, right? Like I know that. And I've gone through a process where I can now show people, one, you're thinking that. There was a time that I didn't even realize that I was thinking that about myself. And then 2, now that you know that you're thinking about, what are the things that you can do? What are some exercises that you can practice to help you address those thoughts and essentially make them the opposite? And so that's really what I feel like I'm on this planet to do, to share my story, so that way people can be like, oh, dang, I've been there before too. Maybe it's not sleeping with a married man. Maybe it's, I don't know, you stole money from a family member, or maybe you are the type of person who says that you're going to do something, but then you never actually follow through, right? So people think you're a flake. Maybe you think you're a bad parent. That's a huge one, the bad parent. Maybe you're addicted to something. And it doesn't have to be alcohol or drugs. I mean, it could be sugar even, or work. Some people are addicted to work. So there are different things that people end up doing because they have this belief, these shame-based beliefs. And so I just really want to help people address that, so that way they can fulfill the things that they're on this planet to do. Because if you think that you have no value, you'll never actually pursue your dream or your purpose, right? And so I want to help people do that.
And you're doing that. You're sharing your story right now. By the way, you have your own podcast you do on Mondays as well, outside of the one that you do on Wednesdays with your business partner. I kind of want to, first of all, I'm super proud of you because, and I am so big on, in a healthy way, sharing your truth. In fact, I believe that people are put on this planet to share their story in a way. And it doesn't always have to be lucrative, but I believe that there's people on here. One, everyone on here has a version of what you said. The title of your book, I Slept with a Married Man. They have a version of that in their own personal lives. Obviously, some people deem one thing better than other things, but there's something else that it took me a little while to find out about you. I feel like I found out you were just like, oh, I'm a blank. And I want to ask you about that. And I also want to ask you if you believe that situation growing up, or growth opportunity growing up out of respect, played a part into the now title of your book. And you want to let them know what we're talking about?
Yeah, sure. So please go and cop the book, because I don't keep it a secret in the book. I do talk about the fact that I'm adopted. And this is something that I've known since I was a little girl. It wasn't kept a secret from me. So I've always known that growing up. And so to full circle, so you're like, how does that even relate, right? So remember I was talking about there are messages that you can receive when you're younger. And these messages, when we're little, we could translate that into meaning that you have no value, or you're unlovable, right? That type of a thing. Mm-hmm. And so there are several, right? I mean, from things like you have all A's and 1 B, and your parents don't focus on the A's, they only focus on the B, right? And so you may interpret that to mean like, I have to be perfect, otherwise I'm not worthy of love or attention or affection, right?
Did that happen to you?
It did. That is something that happened to me. Also, maybe your parents are fighting. This did not happen to me, but if your parents are fighting, or if they have some sort of problems, they might say something to you like, we fight because you're a bad kid, or I drink because of you, or something like that. A child could interpret that to being, it's my fault, my parents are struggling, I must be really bad, right? And so now you just tell yourself that you're a bad person. There are lots of different ones, but I think the strongest 2 are abuse, which I think most people would assume, right? So any type of abuse, verbal, emotional, or physical. And so a lot of times children will internalize that to be like, well, what's wrong with me? Something must be wrong with me, otherwise they wouldn't hit me, or they wouldn't say that thing, right? And then the strongest is abandonment. And abandonment includes adoption, a child who gets put into child protective services, even divorce. And the message that's received in this case is like, something must be wrong with me for the people who were naturally built to love me to not want to be around me, to, to give me up in the case of adoption, that type of a thing.
Yeah.
And so something must be wrong with me. And what's really interesting with this particular one is the follow-up is that, and if anyone does get to know me, they will also abandon me and leave me because I am not lovable, I am not worthy, et cetera, et cetera.
So wait, so let me ask you this. Do you believe that being adopted and having a sense of abandonment had anything to do with you sleeping with a married man?
Yeah. And so I get into that in the book. I don't think I would have thought it immediately, for sure, not immediately. But looking back, I can connect the dots and say, like, man, I had these thoughts. I am unlovable. I am unworthy from so long ago. And the thinking that, like, and I get into all of the thinking that happened that led to this decision. It was a lot of like, well, I don't deserve anything better. I'm not like worthy of more, right? Like that type of a thing. And so it starts with something that I believed, like a message I received and then translated in my little kid brain to mean one thing. And then as an adult, it means something completely different. That leads to making really poor decisions.
Yeah, a decision. And if we can just keep it real, I mean, we're gonna find out where people can get the book if they're interested in learning about the aspects of this and how your life is completely changed. You're a believer. You have a great relationship with your parents. You're a professor. When I met you, the book was done but not out. Now you've done book tours. Through our course, and we'll talk about that in a few seconds here. You've now launched master classes, launched a course, have gained clients. Like, matter of fact, I want to ask you a two-part question. The first part is, so you've been a part of our mastermind for, I think, over a year now. We work a little bit one-on-one and actually are talking about working on the next level for the goals that you have and the dreams in the new year. How would you say being a part of our mastermind and getting around our community, what was life like before you became a part of our mastermind? And now what is life like after you become a part of Iconic Attraction Mastermind?
Yeah. So I was thinking about this a lot today. Before I was doing the mastermind, Darren is absolutely right. I had written the book, but I was super, like, I had so many doubts. I was like, I don't know if I should do this. I did have some people in my life who were like, you should not do this. You should be a ghostwriter. You should like change the title, like a whole bunch of things.
I'm just story girl.
Right. Exactly. So I was super nervous, and it was one of those, it's like the procrastination thing that, I mean, you talk about it, right? But it was this idea that like, I don't know if I should do this doubt. And so working with you was such a critical time, because you were clear on, one, it's important that people understand their purpose. It was probably like, that was like the number one thing, that, and you're a believer. Those two things were the things that really made me feel like, okay, I want to work with Darren in the first place, because I'm feeling like I need this kind of focus and attention. And then through that work, it was like, yes, this is my purpose. This is like confirmation. I just need to do this. And so like it went really quickly after that. And it was like, yep, it's edited, it's out, it's done. We've now self-published. We're doing the thing. All of those. I had someone who planted a seed in my brain and said, well, you should do like a book tour. And I was like, book tour. But again, it was one of those things where like, we focus so much in the mastermind about knowing your value and understanding that like what you have to say in your story is so important. And so it became a seed to, all right, well, if we were to do that, what would that look like? Who wants to really help me make this a reality? And so then I've like been on book tours, which has been amazing. So I would say where I was before was in the place of like, kind of like self-doubt, not really sure, to a place of like absolute certainty. And the reminder, I think one of the things that's really important for me that I felt like is really important to tell other people is that sometimes you just need someone that you can count on, or a group of people you can count on, to remind you that your purpose is your purpose. It's a blessing and it's amazing. And to like almost cheerlead you, not like in the rah, rah, boom, boom, but like confirm it for you, like reaffirm what you already know. And I think that's one of the most important things that I've gotten out of it.
Yeah. I mean, watching you grow through that. Yeah, no, it's you. And honestly, also want to just shout out the Iconic World and the community. The community has just been thriving of this inner circle. And it's so important. A lot of people, kind of shun investing in themselves, and I've got to spend money to grow. It's like, yeah, people have teachers and coaches their whole entire life. And so As we wrap this up, before we bring on our next guest, I obviously want to talk to you about where we can get your book and what you're doing on your podcast on Mondays. But also, you've got a masterclass coming up, another one coming up to help start the new year. I think January 9th is a Tuesday. What's your topic going to be about?
So my topic is going to be how to publish your book, how to be a self-published author. I'm really excited. I've a ton of people, more than I thought, have actually been asking me about this.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's go from I did a thing to now let's share with people how to
do that. It's that interesting. You did a thing and someone wants to learn from you how to unpack that. And so you'll in the Instagram and the Facebook, but at the end of this, when you get off here, you can go ahead and put your masterclass link where we come from abundance. Super proud of you, Janelle. Where can we find the book as well?
The book is on all platforms. It's on Amazon. It's Nook. It's Kindle. It's Barnes and Noble. The whole thing.
I'm reachable, y'all.
Yes, there's only one book with this title. I slept with
ain't nobody putting that title out there. As what Deion Sanders would say, I ain't hard to find, if you know who that is.
But I will go ahead and put the link for the masterclass as well as my link tree, which has the masterclass and the book in the chat, so people can go ahead and find that.
I love it. Janelle, listen, thank you so much. We're going to have you on definitely another time in part 2. We want to know about you're also turning the book into an audiobook.
I am. That's actually really exciting. This is, of course, my first time doing this, and I'm really excited to get that out there. I've also had, there are countless friends, and you know who you are. If any of you are out there, you know who you are. I have so many friends who are like, Janelle, I'm so sorry I haven't read your book. Can you make it an audiobook?
Yo, I'm going to be real with you. I skimmed a whole bunch of that book, but I'm an audiobook guy. You know, I think the Bible is the only physical book that I actually read, straight up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but we're super proud of you. Thank you for this. You know, I'll just ask you to just leave us with one tip, because the whole point of you coming on is not just to share about the adoption and some of the growth opportunities that you've made in your life, but now as a 6-figure earner, now as a person that has put themselves in position to, like, there's people on here that have been through divorce, that have lost loved ones, lost children, lost family members, going through family struggles, single moms, single dads. And I believe there's a bunch of them, or none of that. There's actually people I've worked with that their biggest issue is that nothing has happened at that level. So their life has been pretty good and they haven't struggled. So now they feel guilty that they don't have a struggle. Mm-hmm. No matter what it is, what would you say to a person if you had one iconic platinum nugget to share for a person that they can turn their business into a 6 and 7 figure? They can start an online business. They can grow out of the pain that they're possibly in and turn it into value. What would you say to that person?
Even if what you're going through only helped one other person on the planet, it's worth it. And that person out there is like literally waiting for somebody that they can hear from. And that person is you. And if you just, I mean, it's one step at a time, but even if it's just for that one person, it's worth it. And so whatever it is that you need to do, like, you have it inside of you to share, to bring it out, so that way you can help people. There's somebody out there on this planet who needs your story, your voice.
I love that so much. What the Lord's put on my heart from what you just said with that is, you don't need to solve the world problem. Get through yours. And if you just help one other person get through theirs, you're winning. That's so iconic, Janelle. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead at Janelle_Villiers. She's going to put in the Instagram and or the Facebook, her link for her masterclass, as well as her book. Go follow her. We are a community of abundance. Thanks for the shout out for our Iconic Attraction Mastermind as well, Janelle. Continue to strive, continue to do what you do. We appreciate you. All right. And so, y'all, we're going to continue to keep this moving. Y'all, I hope you're getting value as we kind of move forward here. Want to just pick this up. Working with Janelle, for me personally, over the last last year, now working with her a little bit on a one-on-one basis. I'm not taking any credit for her growth. I'm just telling you that this person surrounded herself with people to be able to do that growth. She didn't do it by herself, like I hadn't either. One of the first places that I met Janelle was on when I used to do 3-day events, July, not last year, but the year before. And so, like she said, she's getting value from what we're doing. So we've got our personal assistant, Davia. What I want to do is, before we bring on our next speaker, again, if you want to start your new year and learn how to turn your giftings and your stories and your passions and learn the infrastructure, the business mind, and be around a community to really help you truly get to the next level, go ahead and register for this event. Turn your iconic, unique story into a 6- and 7-figure business. Guys, it's 2 days. It's 6 hours. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. on January 15th, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern on January 16th. It's a Monday, Tuesday. Whoever registers for that event tonight and they DM me registered, I have a special, actually 2 or 3 gifts that we're going to send to you. One of them will be able to help you strategize how to start your new year in iconic fashion. So if you're on Instagram, the link is in my bio. If you're on Facebook, the link is also in the last post with my family in the chat. And Davia is going to be posting that link. So go ahead and register for that event. If you want to start your new year on what I call iconic fashion, go ahead and register for that event, y'all. All right. And so super excited about that. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and bring on our next guest speaker. Gonna be a different speed than Janelle, and that's why I'm so grateful that we can have some different people. Chances also, hey Al, love you, Annie. Chances also from part of our mastermind, but I actually met Chance before the mastermind. Now I'm gonna brag on him a little bit. He'll share his own story, but he's a serial entrepreneur, loving husband, a strong father in his family's life, a loving son as well, and does a lot of things. And I would say Chance looks like what I would call what a successful, you got a bald, strapping white man on here, not to say that equals success, but in many places it does, but he exudes so much more than just an image of what someone can think is success. Loving heart, compassionate heart, lover of the Lord, and a great friend. So, ladies and gentlemen, please blow it up with likes, chats, all that, shares for Chance Potts. Chance Potts, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me, Darren?
Loud and clear, Icon. God bless you, man.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I appreciate and love our friendship and just think the world of you and your family. And I appreciate our history together, both in this and previously. And wow, Janelle rocked it. I mean, 2 things stood out. One was just the difference in self-confidence and self-worth, which has been part of my journey. And there has been the thought of a book, an ebook or something like that. And so I may have to reach out to her because I haven't really taken that next step to, if I were to, do that, I'm clueless, as you know, right? When it comes to technology and a lot of that stuff. So I need help, right, Darren? You need a lot of help.
Well, hey, here's the thing, right? It's so funny because you've already had access to Janelle. She's literally in the mastermind, and that's just so important about being around a right group of people. So you're really close. So yeah, and that's what it's about: abundance, connecting with the right people, and doing what you need to do. So we'll get into that. Thanks so much. So Chance, really quickly, just tell us a little bit, who is Chance Potts as we start this mastermind, as we start this podcast tonight, as you are helping us come in on the second half of this. Who is Chance Potts?
Yeah, well, Darren, you did say it in your intro. I mean, I'm definitely, I'm a Christian. I'm a husband. I'm a father. My wife and I raising 4 boys, and now we have 2 grandbabies. I've had 4 boys from now 31 to 14, and so they're all 5 to 6 years apart. And I've been so blessed to be able to own my own business, have some time flexibility and control, and be able to coach my boys and coach many other kids along the way in sports, and then been able to coach in some other other arenas as well. And so, man, I think I just, as I found my wife and the family, I looked to her grandfather as a pillar in their family. And was like, man, I just saw the possibility of what generational wealth could be. And I don't mean money. I mean so much more than money, right? With grandparents that could look down at the next generations, and what would that be like for us, down the road? My life, I was running from dysfunction for a good 20 plus years, and then trying to then find something better, right? And just then start chasing something better. But, I'd say most people, if they said, who is Chance Potts, they'd say entrepreneur. I own an insurance and investment firm. I've had that for almost 30 years. They would say I'm definitely a husband, father, coach. And a lot of people think of CrossFit in my local community, because I've coached CrossFit part-time for a long time and coached football for a long time. So, those are the things that people may, on the broader scheme. And entrepreneurialism has definitely been the thing that's grown the most over the last 10 years, and coaching in some different venues has grown the most over the last 10 years.
And I love to have you on this podcast because we teach people how to earn 6 and 7 figures, sharing their story and doing their passions, and you doing that. Why I love being able to have you on is, to me, you're on in general, there's always room for growth and success, but you're on the other end. Most people I come to find and work with are looking to figure out, they have some pain points and things that have happened in their life, and they're looking to grow that, to make money, not just because, even the people that not just because of money, but to make money to free them from the things that are holding them back. But you have made money for long enough that money is not the issue for you. Money's not the issue. And so the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because you've invested thousands of dollars in things. You're able to do some different things. But although money's not the issue for you, would it be safe for me to say, Chance, that money doesn't solve all problems?
Yeah, it doesn't. It helps a lot, but
It does help a lot.
it does
Yes,
not.
it does.
I heard somebody say this. I don't remember who it was, but money makes you more of who you already are. And I do want to earn a lot of money to do great things with it. And I did hear this from Jim Rohn when I was struggling early in my insurance career. I really struggled with the money side of the business. I had a horrible money mindset. And so I struggled with the idea of how much people focused on how much money they could make in the business over how many people they could serve or how they could help. And I heard Jim Rohn say, to have a goal to make $1 million was a great goal. And it piqued my interest because he was somebody I listened to, trusted, respected, and wanted to listen to more. And he said, because of what it can make of you and what you can do with it. And it just flipped a switch for me back then in my late 20s to be like, that's me. I don't want to go just make money for me, and even just for me and my family. I want to go build something that makes a difference in people's lives. And I want to go help other people do that same thing. I just didn't know what that was back then. You've been a big part of helping me really uncover that over the last few years, and definitely a lot more over this last year as I've been searching. Like you said, I've come from maybe a different background. Now that's not where I was way back when, but
yeah. And I'm not saying you grew up in money, but you found a way over the years through your hard work and entrepreneurship to learn how to make it. So I love working with different people like you, though, Chances, because most people aren't where you are. And it's interesting because I love teaching people to get to where you are. But one of the reasons why people are not where you are is because if they got to where you are, the money doesn't solve problems, hardships in life and things. It's like you said, what did you say about Jim Rohn? Because I want to say it a different way that's on my heart. You said,
yeah, he said it's a great goal to have, to make $1 million, for what it will make of you to get there, and what you can do with it, and what it makes of you is a challenge.
Right. Well, so what I think of what it makes of you is, and we teach this in the mastermind, being goals, a goal that you have to become a being. Like, you're not a human doing, you're a human being. So what it makes of you is who you get to become. You might not be a 7-figure earner right now, but the reason why people aren't motivated, and this, is because they're only motivated to go make more money, but they're not motivated to become the person that it takes to be able to have the will to steward that, and the people that it takes to steward that. And I think that you're a perfect example, but I think what you're a better example of, Chance, is how to overcome sheer hardship and still able to thrive. Like, one of the things working with you this last year that I'm working and asking the Holy Spirit to help me with you, and wherever it is, whether it's me or not, or partnered with you, is unpacking how magnificent you are at going through extreme hardship, but not even making it look easy, still being gentle and graceful and continuing to move forward where so many people could not. I don't think I told you that out loud before.
No.
But because it's not my job to help. It's not my job to make you believe that and go do something in that. I'm a strategist and I see what I see.
Yeah. And I appreciate that in you, man. I appreciate your belief in me and staying the course, with me, because as Janelle talks about self-worth, we can go in and out of that.
For sure.
But it's priceless to have people in your life who can sustain that belief in you, who have it and continue to share with you that they have it. And you mentioned this at the end of talking with Janelle, just the importance of our associations and the people we're around. And, I can tell you, if there's a lot of things you could film in my life that people could criticize, judge, and look down on. But man, one of them I would tell you that you probably couldn't is I'm not spending a lot of time with people that are not growing and giving and serving others. I'm just not doing it, man. And it's not about my judgment of other people. It's I can't afford to. I can't afford. I can go so easily down different paths. I've got to protect that, and really be diligent and consistent with staying around people who are thinking better and serving more. And that's what I want to be a part of. And we can dive into my story a little bit if you want. But, one of the things that came to my mind to kind of digress a little bit when you were talking about the money and what I've seen in business and working with many employers, the people that are trying to own a company and trying to make all this money and they may even executives jump from company to company, and they're striving in this professional growth world, right? But they take them everywhere they go.
Right.
And it's like, to build our professional life or our income life, like so many of us try to do at times, without building our personal life, which is a focus that you teach through the pillars and through the whole concept of I am. It's like trying to pull up the weeds without getting to the roots,
Right.
and we're growing something. You're helping people grow something with so much more depth that when they grow, they're going to be able to grow personally and professionally, and they're going to withstand the things that happen. I need to be around people like that because, man, there's going to be more adversity come. We face some big stuff.
Yeah.
And some of it, it's hard to put into words, but there's likely going to be more, and we got to figure out, who are we going to be? Are we going to go through it, or are we going to grow through it? And I just, I'm thankful I've had people in my life like you, my mom, and other people that have helped me to see a better path where I could turn from dysfunction and go a better direction.
Well, bro, I'm so grateful the way we're doing this. We're definitely going to get you back because we're going to need more time, and we might even go in overtime because, first of all, you said it absolutely. The heart of what you just said is literally what pulls me out of bed, outside of my relationship with the Lord and my family, which is when I realized that people actually do have value, but they want to put the cart before the horse because the world, addiction to distractions, is set up to confuse people. Hardship actually strengthens you for the thing to come. And it's interesting, I say this all the time, you can't pray for strength, then complain when God puts weight on you. But the one main reason is people don't want to move forward is because they're afraid of being uncomfortable and afraid of pain. I am in the same situation. But when we learn how to realize that the thing that you and I may go through or we've been through is actually the thing, especially that other people want to learn from. So yes, you can make income, but it's going to lead you to that next path. It's priceless. And so you need a community, a mentor, someone to bring you through that. And honestly, Chance, when you decided, you came on a 2-day event last January, and not only did you decide to work with me, you did the one-on-one, which I'm not going to say the price on here, but it's a lot to a lot of people. I mean, it's a lot. And so I want to tap into this, really quickly, and then we'll circle back to some life stuff. I want to ask you, what was life like before you started working with us in the community in IM, and what life like is now? Because I also want to mention this. You've worked with, and maybe not personally, but you're around people like Ed Milet, at least in your training, Brendan Burchard, tons of people, and you were actually looking at masterminds with those people. What made you choose us, and what has life been like since?
Yeah, so pretty simply, I was seeking out coaching. I was wanting to go to another level. I was really, and so I was looking at, it came down to 4 finalist companies. You and I had a couple of communications back and forth through email and things you were sharing with people. And I already knew you. You were already a trusted source, a trusted friend. I really, when I was going through the finalist thing, I wasn't thinking about you. I was enamored with these bigger names, to be honest with you. And
Yeah.
It came down, and it wasn't, but you and I weren't talking about it literally at that time yet. It really came down to where I was down to one that I thought I was going to go with, which was Brendan Burchard's company. And I'd looked at some others, and I am in a group with Ed Milet and Andy Frisella. That's more of a business group. It's not one-on-one coaching. It's more of a business group with entrepreneurs. But it did come down to, there was a lot of great things with both, but then you came in kind of at the last minute for me to look at this. And I was like, man, I was praying for certain things. And what happened was, I'm enamored with this big brand of Brendan Burchard, which I still love the guy. I love his book. I love a lot of things.
Great stuff.
Great, right? But then you came in with what I was praying for. I'm like, how can you go against that, right? That's not a good idea. And there's 2 things that jump out in my mind. One is, I know you've been extremely successful in 2 areas that I care deeply about. And one is entrepreneurialism in the travel space, and the other is coaching people to get better. And I'm sitting here thinking about the things I've learned and continue to tell myself is, hey, people will come to me and they'll be like, where do I need to go? Who do I need to be around? I'm like, well, don't follow anybody that doesn't have what you want. Be careful about where you're going. And you already had 2 areas in business that you had reached a high level of success, but yet I knew you personally. And it's like, promotes or exposes. And over time, man, it's just, you've been promoted to me. I mean, we're great friends now, and we were friends even before we started coaching, but time promoted you. And it's not about you being perfect. Nobody is, right? It's about real and genuine and just, but caring about being excellent, being consistent, and really stepping into the example of what you're teaching us, man. I'm still working on being a better me. And I may have some things going on in life that are pretty good but man, you're better at being a better you than I am at being a better me.
Well, I don't know about that. I think we're all working on it. But I get what you're saying. I get it.
Yeah. But that was kind of it in the beginning. And then it was the literal thing of, you have the experience, and I know you, and I trust you. And nothing against Brendan Burchard's company, but I did a finalist call with them, and I didn't know I couldn't even talk to the finalist coach they were going to give me. They were picking between 2. And I talked with some other good companies as well, really big companies. And I'm a big believer in investing in yourself. And so, it was a great decision, and it was at the last minute. And I'm thankful God answered that prayer.
Man, and I'm looking forward to taking things to the new level if God has it in store, because I think that we haven't scratched the surface of the scratch. And one of the reasons why I had you on this podcast is because I want you to launch your own. Because I put in the chat, if you think Chance, I'm going to guilt him. should launch his own podcast weekly and be sharing from his life and growing in how he can unpack his life in a way to help people grow. And the reason why I want to bring that up is because Chance, again, I'm going to kind of circle back to this, and not because we're looking to do anything but it's the truth. The best part about you is the hardship you've been through. I mean, and I when I say that out loud, and how you have continued to lead your wife, lead your family, and still love others, bro. I just tell you right now, you're stronger than me. I never want to experience some of the things that I know you have. But God forbid I do. I know that somebody has been through things and hasn't give up. So can we unpack that just a little bit?
Yeah. The first thing that comes to my mind is when we went through our I'll tell you about the story, but right after we went through it, I've literally almost every day since that time, my prayer got really, really simple. And while I appreciate the words you say about me, but I just literally prayed, God, would you please fill me and flow through me? Because that's all I had. So the night before Thanksgiving, 2014, my wife and I are at home, and we get a phone call. She's on the phone. We have 4 boys. Landon's 17, and we get this call that Landon had been in an accident. We really didn't know anything about the accident. We didn't even know where the direction of the accident was. Somehow we got off the phone. We're driving through our small town of Nixa, Missouri. We see an ambulance going across street highway that we're driving towards, and we follow it. We assume that's where it's going. We get there. We can't even believe what we see. A whole community was rocked that night, and there were 8 boys in this accident. 8 families' lives were rocked big time. You can't really put it into words. 4 boys survived that accident, and 4 did not. And our son Landon did not survive that accident. And when the person, paramedic, whoever it was a fog, came up the hill to tell my wife and I that Landon didn't make it, my wife's first words to me were, "This can't break us." And my immediate response to her was, without really thinking, we can't add anything negative to this. And, I've thought about that a lot over the last 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes absolutely no sense, right? No matter how small, moderate, or big the things are that we face, it makes no sense to take something so unbelievably bad that you can't even put words and add negative to it. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have all the feelings that come with it. Clearly, I have them to this day. But, we're probably to some degree meant to have these feelings. God created us to be able to have all these feelings. And, I've grown to learn that I'm thankful it hurts so bad, because I loved Landon that much and he loved me that much. And it wouldn't hurt that bad if it wasn't that great. And so my wife and I have just made the commitment, and it's us together. I end up getting into scenarios like this, and for various reasons, I don't know why, but maybe some reasons I know why, but it's like we're in this together, man. We're both not adding negative to it. And the other thing we did is we made a commitment early on. We said, we're going to focus on being grateful for the 17 years we had and not live in misery for what we don't have. And so I also knew and I knew this, and I remember this as we were driving to the accident. I had no idea what we were going to face. No idea. I was praying the whole way. Had no idea. I thought Landon was going to be fine. I thought, we're going to get there. Is he going to be in trouble? What's the normal scenario going to be that you're thinking is going to happen? And, and as we're going out there, I'm just thinking, okay, whatever happens, my wife is watching me. My kids are watching me. When we made this decision, now, why did I think that? Because my mom had severe challenges in her life. I lived through many of them. I was watching them. I didn't even know I was watching them until I hit my mid-20s. Right. I mean, my early 20s, and it was like, wow. You know, so we can, you know, I love what you teach at its core, because we are most equipped to serve the person we once were. Now, that doesn't mean that's the job I want to sign up to do every day.
Yeah, no, we don't want to sign always. Yeah, I get you.
But it, you know, it's like we can turn it around. And my wife and I both are looking forward to helping people who are going through that situation, whatever it may be, whether
Yeah.
it's a member's house we just came from that's not losing a child, but they're losing a parent, or if
Hmm.
it's somebody losing, you know, it's loss is loss, significant, you know, challenges are what they are. And we're going to get them, man. We're going to get the desired ones that we put in front of us, like growing a business or working out, and we're going to get the undesired ones, and we just get to decide what we're going to do with them.
And that's why I just think that you're a special man, bro. And your wife, Sherry, I mean, I think that she's awesome as well. I haven't been able to have, as much interaction with her as you. But I just know that the strength and the courage and the discipline and the humility to know that you're still growing. We all are. But, man, I don't bring you on here to just share that story. But I do know, and I've told you this before from past businesses that we worked with and we still continue to work together, excuse me, now in the mastermind, in one-on-one, and more importantly, just as brothers, that, man, you just got a way. Like, you have a way of, and it's never easy. I can see that. And I think you're the only man I've ever talk to that almost makes me cry every single time. Like, it's hard. I'm Jamaican, bro. I got this alligator blood and skin, man. I just tell you, I don't think I cried when my dad passed. No, I didn't. And that's not to say that I'm tough. It's just, I think it's the Holy Spirit. You know what I mean? I know it is. That's convicting an area of life. Because if we really want to talk about it too, and I know that you understand this, Landon's with Jesus, first of all. We're in this world, not this world. Doesn't make it easier at all. And I'm not trying to speak on it that way. But we will reunite with him, just like I'll reunite with my dad. And they're very different circumstances. But just remembering that, 2 Corinthians 5:8, I think it's 5. It's 2 Corinthians maybe 5:6 or 7 says to be absent of the body is to be present with the Lord. When I read that scripture, Landon's last breath here was his first breath in heaven. And so God bless him. But for you and others on here, if there's someone on here right now that hasn't lost a child, and maybe someone's on here thinking that, oh, my hardship doesn't compare to that. It's not about comparison. It's about finding a way to not add any negative to it. And what your wife said to you, we can't allow this to break us. Power, bro.
Yeah. We're doing our best to watch it every day, man.
It's power, Chance. It's power. It's power, dude. To be able to still move forward. It's power. And as we're on here in BEICONIC Conversations, as we wrap up, I want to ask you, you have found so much beauty in the valley. And it seems to me that you guys have, not that you obviously don't remember and all these things, but you've turned that pain into absolute pleasure and fruit for others around you. What would you say to someone out here that is going through maybe not that kind of hardship, but someone that maybe in the next 20 days wants to overcome hardships, overcome procrastination? You have your mental fit program and the mindset towards it and the things that you do. What would you say to a person that's just ready to, make a change and a significant change no matter what the circumstances look like?
Yeah, I would absolutely say you've got to be extremely protective of what goes in your mind on a daily basis. And you got to put good stuff in, and you got to get around good people. And too many of us are not around people. We don't have a mastermind of people that are of like mind, that are wanting to not just grow, but we're wanting to use our growth to serve others and to help others, and to use our story. And we all have it, and so I just, two things come to mind. One is, you don't know what you don't know. We can't change where we lack awareness, but as things are uncovered today and you start to become aware of what's possible, in any number of ways, whether it's Janelle and taking her story and turning it into a powerful testimony for so many, and then going and teaching them how to do that. It's like anyone on here could do that same thing in their own situation. And everybody's most significant trial is their most significant trial.
Mm-hmm.
And I used other people's big trials. So if it's mine, use mine. I used my mom's. It wasn't mine. I lived through it, but it wasn't my trial. But I honored and respected it. And I said, I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna own that a little bit. I can't walk in her shoes, but I can take it a little bit. And so I just think it's so important what we put in our minds and who we're associating with and being around. And I think if you can get around a group of people who are being very intentional on a regular basis of putting the right stuff and better stuff in just to get a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Mastering our life may seem daunting, but we can all master that next decision. Well, I need you to help me master that next decision. I need to be around you so I can do a better job of mastering that next decision and be congruent with the pillars you help me go through the process of defining and living consistent to what I say is most important, right? And me
Yeah.
become my best me. So that's a lot more than what you asked for. But
No, but it's it's really important. People don't realize that you and I get to design the life that we want to live, and it's the power of intention. People don't realize their value, and when you don't realize your value, you don't spend wise effort focusing on. And we went over this actually last night in the masterclass of designing your time. Like, what does your time? If you're spending time on it, design it for how you want it, not just being mundane, going to work, getting good grades, and going to school and getting a good job. Like, what is your calling? What is your purpose? And I think that you're doing a great job. But brother, I would love to continue to lock arms, to be vessels for the Lord, for our families, God willing, to continue to design the life the Lord has given us. In Proverbs it says the man plans his way, but the Lord guides his steps. I just believe that there's an opportunity for people to really come out and do things on the highest level. So Chance, if somebody wanted to, reach out to you, where could they find you?
Yeah, the easiest way for me is probably email me at chance@onemorebenefit.com. And I'd be happy to.
Is that ONE?
ONE, chance@onemorebenefit.com.
ONE1, not the number one, just to make sure.
Correct. Yep.
Brother, thank you so much. I think this was awesome. Did you have fun? I
did. Yeah, I love it. I appreciate being able to share, man, and being on with you. I learned something every time. I learned a lot from Janelle, and I love seeing everybody in the mastermind. It's just a phenomenal group of people. So I hope there's people on here that take that jump and don't. It's super important that we think better and we're intentional. But to go to that next level, for me to go to that next level, I had to get involved with somebody like you that was at that next level. And I would just encourage anybody on here to, man, January 15th and 16th, be on there.
Appreciate it, man. Chance@onemorebenefit.com. Hey, put that if you want to when you hop off here. Go ahead and Janelle, just your Instagram is @Chance Potts with 2 T's and 1 S. I know you don't check that much. And you also have a Facebook, Chance Potts, Potts. We're working on getting Chance online, y'all. He's there, but we're working on getting him out there more. But I appreciate the kind words. Hey, y'all, as we wrap up, Chance, thank you so much. Y'all, if you go back through this, let us know if you're watching live or the replay. Let us know in the chats. What are some of the biggest takeaways that you've gotten from Janelle or Chance or myself? Definitely from these two icons as we move forward. Have a happy holiday. Chance, thank you so much again, brother. I'm gonna wrap this up. You did an absolute amazing job. Love you so much, bro. Thank you so much. All right. Let's get it. All right, y'all. So we're gonna wrap up here. Wow. Man, your eyes were sweating. You know what I mean? Don't talk to me about that. I don't know if I think my thing just froze. Did it just freeze here? I think I froze. Well, I'm here. Let me see. Let me know, Instagram. or Facebook. I think my thing just froze. If it froze, it's all good because that was an absolute iconic show. No, I'm still talking. Facebook says I'm on. So, all right. So, since I'm still on, I'm glad. I am going to pray us out. Okay. I'm going to pray us out right now. Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity here on Be Iconic Conversations, even though it seems like my face is frozen, Lord. I know it's my face is frozen, guys, but I'm here. Okay, there it goes. Now it's telling me that it's gone. I'm still going to pray us out. Oh, no, there we are. Hold on. I see you, Chance. And Janelle, you're moving. There we go. All right, we're back. Hope you're still with us. All right, so Lord, just thank you for this opportunity to seek your name and seek your face tonight on this Be Iconic Conversations. As we move forward, I pray, Lord, that this was fruitful. Thank you for Janelle and Chance and their stories, their blessings, as well as their testings, and allowing us to be a part of what you've called us to. Lord, I know there's people on here, especially in this season, this holiday season, that don't know your name. I pray for them, Lord. I'm not here to push my faith on anyone, but I know that salvation is a real thing, and we're in this world, not of this world. I pray for restoration in our world. I pray for restoration in the people's hearts that are on this call, whether they're watching live the replay. I'm asking for protection in this all, Lord, and that you lead us, Lord. You lead us towards you, the season, the reason for the season, that you lead us towards your word. And honestly, love talking about business, strategy, money, books, podcasts, all that. But none of that matters when it comes to eternity with you. The wicked one does not want us to have our inheritance and does not want us to know the truth that you went to the cross and you rose on the third day for us. And if we trust in you and only you, Lord, we can, Lord, have absolute eternity in you. And you allow us to use our lives while we're here to further the kingdom. Lord, we're asking for complete guidance. I pray for my family as well as Janelle's Chances and everybody on this podcast. In your name we pray. Amen. Icons, as we wrap up, first of all, thank you so much for all of you that have stayed on past 10 o'clock. We're going to do this every Tuesday. And if you're still on here, watch this. Next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I am bringing on a special guest that has completely changed my life. He's my pastor. His name is Pastor Mark Orozco. I've never met a person like this. I've never met a person that loves the Lord as much as he does. So it will be a Be Iconic conversation, but I'll just tell you right now, we're going to talk very directly about Jesus. And if you have some questions, bring them next week. I'm really super busy man, a man that really chases after the Lord and most importantly, spends time with his family. So for 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night, to be on the podcast is a big deal. So if you are a person out there that's looking to grow in your faith, and if you're a person out there that's looking to not only grow in your faith, but maybe learn how you can turn some of your giftings and use them for the Lord and grow, be back here next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to change some lives, okay? And one last time before we hop out of here, let me just bring this up and share with you. We will be... we have our next 2-day event. Davia, pray that you're still there. I'm sure that you are. Put it in the chat. This next 2-day event is going to change the game, teaching people how to turn their iconic, unique story into 6 and 7 figures. It's in my store, in my bio on Instagram, and my post on Facebook. Go register. Anybody registers tonight, DM me registered, and I am going to do something special for you. All right. And if you're looking to start your new year, don't just register. Show up for the call to qualify for it and show up to the event. Also, check out the chats for Janelle for her podcast, as also her book and also her masterclass. And shout out to Iconic Attraction Mastermind. I love you guys. Love being able to build with you. God bless you guys. Have an iconic rest of your week. Let us know in the comments what was your biggest takeaway from being on here with us. Love doing Be Iconic Conversation with you. Instagram, sign it off. And we're signing off here as well on Facebook and YouTube. Love you guys. Love all the comments I'm seeing here. They're absolutely awesome. We appreciate you. Signing out. This is Be Iconic Conversations. Good night.